We're doing this video off no notes, and I want to start off with, I understand Kinetic Games is a small studio, but I'm going to explain why I don't care that they're a small studio in the video. So go in. I just want to explain to a lot of the new players, because I see there's a lot of new people getting into Phasmophobia, but whether it's the console release or just because of the newfound success of the game, that a lot of people are coming into the game not knowing about the full history of the game and stuff like that. So this is kind of just to like catch everybody up on things, and why like there seems to be a huge split on like social media, on like TikTok and stuff, between a bunch of people upset with the game and the developers, and a bunch of people like, you just got to give them time and stuff like that, and you got to understand like the older game point. And I know a lot of you are watching like the content creators that are in the Phasmophobia creator thing. I I don't know if Phasmophobia will like punish them if they speak out against the game. I don't like how the content creators are hyping up the roadmap again when this is the same roadmap we have seen for 4 years. And I will put it up on the screen over here: 2022's, 2023's, 2024, and 2025's roadmaps. And you will see all the way back in 2022, and they talked about it a little bit in 2021. There just wasn't a roadmap yet. 2022 is where they did their first roadmap, because it was like a year and a half into release. But it's been 5 years or 4 years, and if we get Horror 2.0 in 2026, as they're supposedly saying in the 2025 roadmap, which is why a lot of people don't believe it, it would be 5 years of promises and 5 years of lies. And again, this goes back to they're a small developer. It's just hard because they're a small developer. Well, I look at games like Lethal Company. That was one guy, one person, one singular person, and he put out regular updates. He kept the game regular update. Now, I haven't kept up with the game because I haven't played it in like 8 months. But in the first year, that guy was like almost monthly updates or every other month and stuff like that, like keeping up with it. And they were one person, like one singular person. And I go back to with Kinetic, I get you're a small studio, but you have to stop promising 1,000 updates and delivering two. You know what I mean? Like, you guys need to sit down, because it has been 4 years they've been promising like player customization, new character models, and Horror 2.0, like more interactivity from the ghost and stuff like that. Because if you have played a while, you know you get those hunts where the ghost just does nothing a lot of times, and it's just, and like once, and I wish I had this one recorded. Me and my friend had a 26 or 28 minute round, like investigation with a demon that didn't hunt once. Like, and it was doing nothing. It was like almost no activity, no events, no nothing. It didn't even burn the crucifixes, and we got bored and we quit and left the. We were just like, we're just gonna ditch it, and we like guessed shade because it was doing literally nothing. And that's just how some of the runs go, and they're just super boring sometimes. But back to the updates, right? Because I don't want to ramble, because I'm doing this all just off head, right? So I saw the roadmap for 2025, and it's like it will, and also, like I said, I'll have the roadmaps right here. It's identical, the same promise. They promised a super epic, ultra amazing update, and I feel like at this point it doesn't exist, because these other updates that they like, the smaller updates that they put out just to make it look like they're working on the game at this point, we see teases like months or even a year or two ahead of before these updates come out, right? We have not seen once what a new player model could look like, what player customization could look like, what whatchamacallit, we haven't seen what like the hallucinations could look like. We haven't seen what like the new events from the ghosts have looked like. We haven't seen anything, like not even a single tease of what it could look like in game. And they've supposedly been working on this for 4 years. So that's why a lot of people like me who has bought the game for myself, and I've bought it for at least 7 friends. I think it may be more. I know it's at least 7. I'd have to go back and look at my Steam gifts, because I bought this a lot for a lot of my friends back at the early start, especially when they started teasing this Horror 2.0 and stuff. I was like, oh man, it's going to keep the game going and great for a good while. And then it was pushed back a year. Then it was pushed back another year. Then it was pushed back another year. And here we are, 2025, being told it might come in 2026. And a lot of people are like, you just got to trust them. The reason, and I get it, a lot of you may be new, and you're having fun and you're enjoying the game like I did way back when I started. When I was like starry-eyed and like, oh my god, this is amazing, especially since I got to play it in VR, like a VR ghost game that was actually scary and actually scared me several times. But we've gotten to the point where it's just empty promises, and instead we get these little updates, like instead of doing like focusing on Horror 2.0 or character customization or new models like they promised for 4 years, instead they're like, hey, we're also going to rework Tanglewood. And if you look on TikTok, that is one thing that the community doesn't seem split on. Like every comment's like, leave Tanglewood alone, leave Tanglewood alone. And there's like tens of thousands of likes on like every comment. Like the community's like, no, don't do this. Stop. So like they're focusing on these minuscule updates to make it look like they're working on the game instead of doing what the community wants for 4 years now. It's beyond frustrating. Like someone like me who has I spent money on the game for me and several friends to play the game because I believed in the developers, I trusted in them, and now it's starting to feel like, because there hasn't even been like a slight tease of this stuff, but we've gotten teases of the other minor updates they put out, that this is a scam. Like one of those early access, we're going to promise this and promise this and promise this, and it's never going to come because they're not actually working on that. Instead, they're working on the little minuscule updates to make it look like they're working on the game instead of focusing on something they've been promising for 4 years now. And no teases, no looks at it, no early like inside look like they have with all their little minor updates and stuff. So, like I said, for the newer players, you're hearing like the content creators that are bought off and paid or under a restriction to where they can't bash the game, and they're hyping up the update, be weary, because this is an update they've teased for 4 years. 4. And if it comes in 2026, it will be 5 years. But when they add in like this extra, hey, we're also reworking this map that nobody wants, by if you look at the community's response to it, why are you working on this stuff that the community's against? Like, it's like when they added weather, right? I go back to weather a lot because I love weather. I'm a meteorologist nerd. I always wanted to be a meteorologist, and I'm going back to school to be a meteorologist. But had they done something where the weather like had some interaction with the ghosts, like imagine you're in Tanglewood, you're in the big living room, and the lightning flashes, and you look to the window, and there's a shadow figure just like in the illumination of the lightning. That would be sick. Instead, the weather is just a hamper on performance. And if you look at real life ghost hunters, like Taps that did the show, or that other team that I forget, like I forget their name, and it's gonna drive me crazy. But they also did a ghost show on like Spike or something like that, and nobody ever hunts during storms and stuff because it would mess up your audio, it would mess up your pictures, it would mess up. So like weather has nothing to do with anything other than hurting performance. And it's another one of those, look, see, we did update the game with something, versus working on what people actually want and would actually make the game better. And you can't just turn the weather off, because if you do, it cuts like half your reward away. So if you try to get a little more performance, because sometimes this game has really bad performance issues, you get punished for it, for something that has absolutely no effect on the ghost hunting part of the game. So there's, I hate to call it a scam, but at this point, 4 years of lies, 4 years of delays, 4 years of not even a single tease, And instead we're getting more like minuscule promises for things that the community doesn't want by like mass look. Because like I know normally it looks like, okay, maybe the community isn't like this, but it could be just a small bubble. Like I said, this Tanglewood change, it's like everybody's like, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And there's tens of thousands of likes on like every single comment of it on this video. So it's like clearly many people do not want you to touch Tanglewood. So why are you working on that instead of this update you've been promising for 4 years? So this video is simply mostly just because one, to vent, and two, just the one the new players that are coming in and being told by the partners in the partner program, like, oh yeah, look at this great stuff they're promising. Yeah, they've been promising it for 4 years plus. And here we are, nothing to show for it, right? We're still waiting and still waiting. And for like even little teases, if they gave us something, right? I wish the developers would just show us something, right? It's been 4 years. You got to have something, right? Surely. So I just wanted to kind of lay this out, put it out there. I don't know if anybody's going to watch it, but if you do, you know, just like I said, just keep a kind of like a weary eye at this point, because after 4+ years of being lied to and led on and shown nothing, it's starting to feel like a lie. It's starting to feel like one of those early access scams where they promise a major update just to keep people coming in, buying the game and stuff, waiting for this major update that's never going to come. They're going to abandon it before the game, before this thing ever comes out at this point. And so it's just to like be weary, right? I just want people to be a little wary. That's why going forward until Horror 2.0 comes out, if it ever does, I know I've done Phasmo videos in the past. Phasmo will probably be permanently retired at this point, because at this point I feel spurred. I feel burned. I feel hurt by the devs, because I'm probably spent more than 99% of people on this game, because it's a little cheap game for like what, $15 I think, and I've spent 8 copies, right? And for 4 years of lies and no communication really from them on like these specific updates they've been promising. And that's the ones that people want most, because one, character customization is just always nice, and two, the Horror 2.0 is supposed to make the game like spooky and scary again. It's supposed to revamp the game and make it exciting for us veterans who have been around for a while. But instead, it's just nothing. It's radio silence from them, and they ignore it, and they hide it, and they cover it up, and it's just Kinetic. It's time, like, if it is a real update, we need some teases of it, what it's going to look like, what it's going to be, and stuff like that. And two, you guys need to sit down as a development team and be like, hey, we've been promising this for years. We got to put all this other minuscule stuff, like the Tanglewood rework and stuff that nobody wants. And we need to stop, and we need to refocus our development onto like Horror 2.0 and get it out. We need to then focus on character creator or customization and get it out. Like, you guys need to streamline your focus and show something for these updates that you teased for 4 years now. Or else, to this point, till you do, I'm going to call it's an early access scam at this point. Because last year, they even said in the 2024 roadmap, like near the end of the year, was supposed to be the full release of the game. That was fun, wasn't it? It didn't even come. Because it's just lie after lie after lie for 4+ years. It's ridiculous, Phasmo. It's ridiculous, Kinetic. Do better for your fans. Refocus your development if you are working on it. If it is a real thing, refocus. Because last year, all we got was what? The Lighthouse and the shop rework. Which the shop rework felt like it was like 6 months late from the other update that just reset our levels back to 1. And it was like it's supposed to be a new way to level up. And it's the same stuff to level up. We've been promised photo reworks for like 3 years. We finally did, at least last year, get to throw away 2 photos. Because the game screws you over on your photos sometimes. Like, you'll have it take a picture of the ghost. It will be square in the image. You can see it. And the game will be like, yeah, nothing's there. And you'll be like, I can physically see the ghost in, like, perfectly in frame, like, full body in the picture. So they finally, after 3 years, gave us, you know, we could throw away 2 photos when the game screws us over. So, Kinetic, please, as someone who has supported this game from day one, who's spent more money than I probably should on this game, we want some transparency on the updates you have promised for 4 years. I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for as someone who's been playing around, like, supporting your game and stuff. And we want you to refocus on the updates people want. Like, revitalize the game and stop doing, like, these minuscule updates that make it look like you're working on the game. Because it's starting to feel like a lie. Starting to feel kind of like BS. And me and my friends used to love to play this game all the time. And now, like, we're just like... it used to be our, like, go-to game. And now we just have no one to play it. And so we're playing other things. And yes, there's other Ghost games, but the reason we're so hopeful for Phasmo is the only one with VR. So we want the VR experience because it makes it 10 times better. And like this, whatever the Horror 2.0, if it actually exists, ends up being, it could be like such an amazing thing in VR. So please, Kinetic, do better, refocus, and deliver what you have promised for 4 years now. Okay? That's all I ask. Simple ask. It's time. And for the new players, I don't want you to not enjoy the game if you don't want to, or if you do. Right? I'm not telling you to hate the game. I'm just saying, be wary of everybody championing the updates they're teasing, because it has been 4 years of these teases, or, well, telling us it's coming. I won't even say teases because they haven't shown us anything. So just be wary that when you see people that are like, if we get the update, it's because of that. It's because it's been 4 years with nothing to show for it. So I hope you guys have a great one. I'm going to do more videos like this. I have a couple of ideas. Like, I want to talk about all the issues in PvP games and what makes it just unfun these days to play. And then I've got a few other ideas. I've still got the the IGN video I'm working on. Because that one's going to be fully scripted, because I've got a whole bunch of points to follow and stuff to really show how much of a joke IGN is. So I've got more of these, like, kind of just talk it out moments, right? Because I want to see other people's opinions on things. I want to kind of give people some insight into things that maybe they haven't seen, because there's a lot to follow these days and stuff like that. So just kind of put some things together, and but join the Discord, come hang out, come talk, chat. I'm always down to chat to people. I hang out my general voice channel a lot, and just have a great day, everybody. Do better, Kinetic.